If you want to know the step-by-step process to apply permanent residency of Canada, this video is for you. Stay tuned. What's coming up is the step-by-step process to apply permanent residency of Canada through its Express Entry program. Let's list out the steps first and then we will discuss all of them one by one. For you to understand easily, I have divided the complete process into 6 simple steps. So the first step is assessment of your educational qualification. Second step would be English or French language test, which is followed by creating profile for ITA. This is where your PR process officially gets kick-started. What is ITA? We will discuss later in this video. After you receive an ITA, you have to collect the documents that need to be submitted. Then, with the scan of all those documents, you have to submit the visa application online. After you receive the confirmation of permanent residency, the last step would be visa stamping. Now, let's discuss each step in detail one by one, starting from the first step, which is education assessment. ECA or Education Credential Assessment is done by few organizations like WES, ICAS, IQAS and ICES. The documents of your 10th and 12th standards, bachelor's, master's and PhD degrees would be verified by any of these organizations. You would need to send the original transcript with a copy of mark sheets, certificates and degrees to any one of these organizations and get them verified. This ECA would be valid for a total of 5 years. Moving on to step 2, language test. English and French are the 2 official languages of Canada. So before migrating, you need to prove that you are proficient in reading, writing, speaking and listening any of these 2 languages. If you're good in English, you can appear for CELIP, which is conducted in Canada, Philippines, UAE or USA. IELTS general test is for many other countries including India, while TEF is the test for French language. Remember, the better you score in the language test, the better are your chances to get the PR invite. Now, the next step is where your PR process would actually start. Profile creation for ITA, which means invitation to apply. ITA is either sent out by Canadian government under FSW or Federal Skilled Worker Program or by any of the 10 provincial governments under PNP or Provincial Nomination Program. You would receive the ITA based on your CRS score and the current draw score. Your IELTS score and ECA is mandatory for profile creation, hence those 2 steps need to be completed before this step. You would be assigned the NOC code on the basis of your skill set and job duties. Once you have created the profile and submitted, it gets logged. You would receive an ITA from CIC when your CRS score clears the draw cutoff. Now it is a merit-based system, so higher the CRS score, higher the probability to get an early ITA. After the third step, you would need to wait until you receive an ITA. In the meanwhile, you can start collecting the documents because trust me, this is a time-consuming process and the list is long. The list of documents which needs to be submitted includes medical test report, police clearance certificate required for all the countries where you have spent 6 months or more in a row within the last 10 years, proof of funds, on official bank letterhead with bank statement of 6 months, letter of reference for each work experience that you've declared, marriage, divorce, death certificate of your spouse as applicable, the birth or adoption certificate of dependent children, all pages of passport, photographs in a specified format, information of travel outside the country, and address of places where you have resided in last 10 years. You would be given a time of 3 months from the day you receive your ITA, and the documents will need to be submitted for primary applicant, spouse and dependent children. So be careful. Moving on to this step 5, which is Submitting the visa application. In this step, you need to submit all the documents listed in the last step and pay the visa fee. After submission, you need to wait for some time until a migration officer verifies and approves your request. It might take a minimum of 15 days if you are really lucky, but it may take up to 6 months. Generally, it takes around 2 to 4 months. In the meanwhile, if CIC asks for any document or clarification, you will need to provide it. The fee that you need to pay at the time of submission is 1,040 Canadian dollars for the primary applicant, same amount additionally for the spouse, and 150 Canadian dollars additionally for each dependent child. We've got a separate video for the expenses in the overall process, link to which is in the description below. Now let's discuss the last step, the sixth one. After receiving confirmation of permanent residency, which is commonly referred as COPR, over the email, you would require a visa in your passport to enter Canada for the first time, and an official letter of COPR which would be provided by the embassy. This would be done in an official VFS center and would require a small fee. You've already submitted all the documents, so just the passport with the photographs needed to be submitted within 30 days of receiving the mail of COPR. You would receive the single entry visa and the copy of COPR in a week's time or less. That's it, you're done. And as soon as you land officially in Canada, you become the permanent resident of Canada. Now, let's quickly summarize all the steps. Step 1 and 2 are the ECA and language test, can be done one after another. After this, the profile creation for ITA. Now the document collection. When you're done with that, you can submit the visa application and get the visa stamped. Thanks for watching. Hope this video was helpful for you.